There's nothing to me that's more classic American diner than a good beer battered onion ring. It's that thick, crispy, craggly crust. I mean, just look at this. Listen to this. Ah. Now, if I was cooking a main dish, I would say that your food is only as good as your main dish. But since I'm cooking a side, I'm gonna say your plate is only as good as the sides you pair with it, because that's the way I reason things. But you really can't find a better side to pair with most of your grilled recipes, your outdoor style cooking recipes and things like that, than a good old-fashioned onion ring. And it's always been one of my favorites. And I shared these on my Instagram, and people are like, we need the recipe, we need the recipe. I'll be honest, this is not a recipe that I should be making right now. We got back from the beach, and I am trying to do better. I'm trying to lose weight. This is not a weight loss recipe. But these truly are so unbelievably good that it's worth a splurge. I'm just not going to lie. These things are truly worth it. A couple things. You can pick your onion thickness and the slice thickness you want. I kind of like a thicker sliced onion ring. I feel like that's more, especially I've been doing a lot of barbecue, some brisket, some pulled pork, things like that. And I kind of like a fat, juicy onion ring. Some people like them thin. I'm going to do both thicknesses and let you look at them. But that 1/2 inch thick just really is just a classic, in my opinion, just a classic big old country onion ring. And then I do not normally save these tiny little inside pieces. The birds will be happy. Oh yes, probably not slicing these the right way. Didn't watch the knife work video on how to slice onion rings. That's just the way it works for me. Oh yes, these are going to be good. Now the first thing I do, everything being cold helps. We're going to do a beer battered onion ring. And the colder things are, the more it helps. Now, straight up off the top, don't click away. If you aren't a beer person, you do not have to use beer for beer batter. That gives it some extra malt, and the bubbles really help you get that rise. But you can also use a good carbonated water. You can use club soda. Club soda is probably my second choice for this. I would just get a good classic club soda if I wasn't going to use beer batter. But that little bit of malt flavor, I think, does add something to the nostalgia of these onion rings and also to fish. I started out this year with the goal of getting back in shape, and honestly, I really was making some good progress. Then I had this incredible opportunity to fly out to California for Food Network's 100 Cooks. And I had the opportunity to eat at some amazing restaurants that we really don't have here, and I really enjoyed myself. The problem was when I came back, I didn't get back into my routine. I stopped paying attention to my portions, quit eating my factory meals like I had been, and quit exercising. And before you knew it, I was right back in my old habits. It's honestly amazing to me how quickly you feel the difference when you go from eating clean to just grabbing whatever's convenient. I've had less energy, I haven't been feeling as good, and I've known that I haven't been taking care of myself the way that I started out to this year, but I just kept putting off getting started again. Then we went to the beach a few weeks ago, and Whitney started taking pictures of all of us playing together. When I look back through them, I realized how much I didn't like the way that I looked. And I don't think you can really understand that feeling until it happens to you. You look at these pictures that should bring back great memories, but the difference in how you look and how you thought you looked really takes away from those memories. More than anything else, I looked so unhealthy, and that was such a wake-up call for me. So I told Whitney when we get home, I'm starting over. I know that it's going to take a while, but I'm spending more time being active and working out. I'm paying attention to my portions again, and I've added my factory meals back into the week to replace those quick, fatty meals or fast food that I already know I shouldn't be eating. They make it so easy because they're fresh, never frozen, chef prepared, they're ready in minutes, and I never have to worry about whether or not I'm making a good choice. One thing I really like is the factory gives me plenty of variety without feeling repetitive. Maybe you've been consistent all year and you just need some new meals that are quick, easy, taste great, and you know are made with quality ingredients. Or maybe you are more like me and somewhere along the way you've gotten off track. The good news is you don't have to wait until January to start over. If you're ready to get back on track, scan the QR code right here to go to factor75.com or click the link below and use coupon code BATESKITCHEN-FB50 to get 50% off of your first meal plus free breakfast for a year. That's factor75.com and coupon code BATESKITCHEN-FB50 for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. You'll thank me later. This offer is only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Now I drop them down in water. People are like, why do you put your onion rings in ice water? It is not a must-do. You can absolutely skip that part. But the reason I do it is it cuts down a little bit on some of the acidity. And the other thing is, if you really want the pop, the colder every ingredient is, the more you're going to get that puff, that airy puff when you drop it in the hot oil. That's one of the main reasons that we're using the beer batter, is to get that puff. It's got the baking soda in there to help it puff. Everything is about getting that puffy crust on our onion rings. Now I'm going to slice these a little bit thinner. These are more like 3/8 of an inch, more of a classic. And then, of course, you can always do shoestring, although this is not the batter I use for tobacco onions or shoestring onions, whatever you call them. Anyways, in with the ice water, helps cut down on a little bit of that sharp taste, makes them a little milder, helps get them really cold, soak out some of that sharp onion flavor, and make them milder and sweeter, in my opinion, but is not a must-do. I'm going to break these up here, and while they sit, we're going to jump to making our batter. So now it's time to mix up our batter while our onions soak, and this is really simple. We've got a mixture of flour, some cornstarch and baking powder, and then a little blend of seasonings, and all of my recipes are always in the description of every video. You see something you like, it's in the description, unless it is someone else's recipe. If it is someone else's, there will be a link in the description that you can go visit theirs, because I don't want to take somebody else's credit for their hard work. But you can always find what you're looking for in my descriptions, is what I'm trying to say. Let's get this stirred up really good. This is where you do your stirring. You do not want to overmix any batter once it has the liquid added. So as much as you want to mix it, you mix it right now. People might tell you not to do this. If you want to know how your stuff is going to taste your batter. If your stuff tastes just like flour, well, that's probably because your batter tastes just like flour. So that's some great seasoning. I can taste the garlic in there, a little bit of paprika, a little bit of onion powder, some salt and pepper. We're good to go. It's mixed really well. Now, we're going to separate out about half a cup or so of that. And this is what we're going to dust the onions with when they're good and dry. And then I'm going to dry my onions before I do the rest of this, and I'll tell you why. We want really good and cold. So the liquid I use for this is in the freezer, whether it's club soda, whether it's sparkling water, or whether it is a beer. When I'm using a beer batter, I like to use a really bubbly beer. So I typically use the Miller High Life. It's got the most micro bubbles in it. I don't drink it, but I do use it for my beer batter. So let's get our onions out here to dry. We want to dry these really well, because if they're wet going in, this batter will just peel right off of them, and we do not want our batter to peel off. We're going to get them dry. Then we're going to hit them with the dry flour and get the dry flour on them to really make sure that batter sticks. And then we'll finally dip them and dunk them in the hot oil. Now you can make a lot more than this. This is a batch that makes pretty much roughly 2 onions worth of onion rings. Now the little mix is for our dry batter, and the big mix is for our wet batter. So let's get that mixed in here. Now this has been in the freezer to really get it cold. We're just going to whisk it in here, and I'm not going to really overmix it. I made this to do 12 ounces exactly, but that's a little thick. Let me grab another one. So a good tip would be probably take out about a half a cup or even 3/4 of a cup to start with, because you can always add some back in if it's a little bit thin, but you can't take it out once it's in there, and you're going to have to open a second one and not use it all. So that is probably the consistency we're looking for. Kind of like a loose pancake batter is what I like. It's okay if it's got a few dry specks in there. We're not that worried about that. And now I typically just drop a handful of onion rings in here. I should have got a bigger bowl for this, but they weren't clean yet. Just toss them, and they'll get plenty coated. You're just dusting them. It's better than trying to get your fingers down in there. And then over here, we can drop them all in here the same way. And the good thing is you can fill this wet batter up as much as it'll hold before you pull them out to do the fry. So it's fine if they sit in there for a little bit. Now it's real simple. Just drop them straight in the hot oil. Now I will say, for me, onion rings have always been my go-to when I'm picking a side. If I have a hamburger and the place has onion rings it is. If I'm getting a barbecue sandwich and they have onion rings it is. I feel like they used to be so much more popular, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they used to be so much more popular, and one of the reasons I think they were is because most places did make them homemade. But now, everywhere I go, it seems, when I try to get a good onion ring, they're all frozen onion rings, and you can just taste the difference. They aren't as good to me, and I think that's one of the things that it's just not as popular. They're not as good. So take a few minutes, skip the frozen onion rings, and batter up some quality, old-fashioned beer battered onion rings and treat some people to something they won't forget. Whew. First batch coming out. Oh, this is liquid gold right here. Okay, so I normally cook this inside for this reason. It was not looking like it was going to rain before we started, but we still got a batch of onion rings out of here. Look at this. I'm going to put a cover on this so it don't ignite my oil. The rain is coming, so we're going to run inside, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you're looking for a classic, crispy onion ring, this one right here ain't going to let you down. Real quick, this can go. Let's get inside, Jaden. Go get me a towel. Get that in, get that inside. Since my deep fryer is trying not to catch on fire outside with all the rain, I came inside with the rest of my oil, and I'm going to try to get this pot to deep fry the remaining onion rings. Okay, we are finally at the end of this episode, and I'll be honest, everything that could go wrong pretty much did go wrong except for the fryer catching on fire. Anyways, started filming. Noticed about halfway through that the main camera we film on, the lens had somehow, my lens has gotten all fogged up from something. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do with that. But lens got all fogged up, everything looked blurry like I was filming underwater. Got the lenses switched out, went to keep filming, and it started raining on us. Got rained out, fryer got full of water, it was crazy. Came inside, and with the tiniest pot in the house, because that's all the oil I had left, we tried to salvage some onion rings, and here we are. The recipe, it's obviously foolproof if that couldn't break it. And it's still pretty easy. The process of getting here, not that easy. Now, if I'm at a restaurant and a waiter walks past me with this big old tower of onion rings, I can promise you, diet or no diet, no matter what else is happening, I am ordering some onion rings. Because this right here, I don't know, either you love them or you don't, but this right here is the pinnacle of grill, pub food, whatever you call it. This right here, just listen to this crunch right here. Get close to my mic. That's after being rained on. Look at that. Perfect batter. Just right here, I shouldn't, but I could truly eat my body weight. These aren't your typical frozen onion ring. This is the reason the onion rings were popular for so long. And frozen onion rings are killing the onion ring market. No matter what you're making. Steak, hamburgers, barbecue, brisket. This right here pairs perfectly with it. I mean, honestly, I'd have that for a meal. Tell you right now, you take this onion ring recipe, you try it one time, I promise you, you'll thank me later.